How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have A Night in November back again. I believe this is the third time you guys have come on, so you must like me or something. But
Oh,
guys
we
can
love
say
you.
their
Yeah.
names and what they do in the band.
All right, I'll go
Yeah,
first.
sure. Everybody was
So,
waiting for it.
Everybody's
We're
like,
all too
yeah,
polite.
yeah.
Go
So
ahead,
I'm
Gareth.
Gareth.
You go first.
I'm the lead singer and bass player.
Sweet, yeah. I'm Lewis. I'm a guitarist and I do some screaming as well.
I'm Costa and I play drums.
you're right.
Some air drums. in.
Well, I've had these guys on 3 times now, so if you haven't checked the other 2 out, I'll leave them linked in the description. They're both also great interviews, so go check them out. I am like at least a couple years younger. I know that's hard to believe, but definitely younger. But I love having these guys on, and I checked out their newest song. I'll also leave a link for this as well. They have a new song out called Sunday Mornings. Go check it out. It was great. I just listened to it before I had them on because, you know me. I got to keep up to date with what you guys are doing, certainly. So I was surprised. I don't think, if my memory serves me correct, I don't think the previous songs I've listened to from you guys had screaming in it. So that's a new thing. So how did you guys come to that? I feel like there's been like a sound shift from previous A Night in November stuff till now. So I imagine over like the period that everybody was locked up for a little bit. I think you guys, you guys were in the kitchen, you were cooking. So what kind of has been going on in the Night in November camp? You guys, I feel like, have garnered some new influences and stuff. So I guess what brought about that change and different, like a little bit of a deviation from, what you were doing previously.
I'm going to give you one big change right now, which is going to blow your minds. I have got kids and I'm looking after them and they've just woken up. So I'm leaving it to these guys to lead this conversation now. Say nice things about me, yeah? And I'll be back as soon as
See you in a bit, Costa. All right, yeah, that's a great start. That's gold. Since you mentioned screaming, I'll maybe cover a bit about that, and then Gareth can probably talk a bit more about, like, because the inspiration behind the songs was more, more from him. But the screaming side of things, like, we've kind of always had some screams in the songs, but it's been something that I've been developing and learning how to do better. And also, like, it sounds, I guess, like, I guess it's something that maybe people don't talk about too much, but like trying to do the screams at the same time as playing like a guitar riff is like the hardest part of it. If I'm just screaming on my own, that's fine. I can scream all day and that's
Kudos.
great. But if I'm trying to push myself to do more technical, like lead parts, because there's only one guitar in the band, I have to be putting like a rhythm down and then some lead parts. I'm trying to get like screams over the top as well. It's a lot for my brain to think about. So I'm to push myself further and further into those, sort of realms. So yeah, it definitely taken more of a focus on these songs. But yeah, Gareth, you can probably talk more about the song styles and things like that.
Yeah, it's been it was a little bit weird with this one. So we've previously, when we've written songs, it's very much been all in one room together. And,
Sure.
Yeah. So during lockdown and all that sort of stuff, it was very hard to practice. It was ridiculous. We tried to do it over the internet and lag and things like that. It just wasn't fun. So it felt like.
Speaking of lag,
No.
he had to. I feel like he had to say that, and then he lagged. Oh, I feel like okay, we're good.
Do you know what?
Tonight is.
You're going to be interviewing yourself
Tonight,
about a night
this
in
is.
November?
It is a night. Well, it's not November. It's a night in September now. So we're a few months off. But poor Gareth, he was in the middle of saying lag, and man, it really hit him, huh?
Man.
But
well, I guess I can probably speak to what you.
he's back.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Oh my God, you had to say lag, Gareth, and then that's when you went wrong. Yeah.
Exactly. I was just making an example of how it was when we were trying to practice. It was, it was crazy. So, am I back now? Am I working all right?
You are good now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that example is very much how it was, and it was just wasn't fun to practice anymore. Like, it was really more just difficult than it was fun. So it was a sort of time when we were thinking, like, we've got to keep the band going, but we need to think about something different. How we're going to do it. So what I did is I wrote an acoustic song pretty much every day, you know, and then kept sending them to the guys and saying, what do you think of this? Do you want me to develop this? Is this better? Just so we kept that momentum going, just so we didn't just end, you know?
Sure, yeah.
So it was difficult and very different, but that's where it came from. So all our songs for this new EP, we've all written acoustically first and then sort of passed through the whole band to make sure that everyone was happy with it. And then we're like, okay, these are the ones we're working on. What riffs can you add to it? What drum beats can you add to it? And we built it up from there. And then it was nice then to start getting into practice rooms and you know, writing, recording, all that sort of thing. But yeah, very different way of writing. But I enjoyed it. It was yeah, it's very interesting to start from that sort of that starting point and have songs written, and then getting the guys to just judge them every day.
Also feel like it allows you to stretch your like musical legs, right? Because I think from what I've talked to with other musicians I've had on, it's like it's been either like a really stressful situation where you're like, oh my God, is our band, are we going to be able to tour? Are we going to be able to do this? And I'm sure you guys have went through your share of struggles on that as well. But I also think as well, it's this weird time where like everyone stopped, and I think it almost weirdly enough allow people to kind of refocus or find things that like maybe outside of music that they weren't able to like focus on to kind of, you know, still grow that passion for music and stuff, but maybe at a lesser degree so you can focus on other things and like enjoy your time with your kids, your family, what have you. And I think that that's such a cool thing, and come back to the thing that you actually you know, truly love. Not that you don't love your family or kids or anything, but like I, you know, it gives you a newfound love for it. And so I kind of find that similarly to doing interviews and stuff, like, because there was a point in my career where I was like, I'm starting to hurt now, especially over like the pandemic and stuff. I just got so many emails, I got burnt out, and I was just like, I'm taking a break. I'm taking like some time to myself and just allowing myself to like enjoy life. And if I come back to do it, great, which obviously is the case. I did. But I think it gives me a new respect and a new like admiration for why I do this, and how much of a personal connection I have with just having people on and actually having people come back on and appreciate what I do, you know, not to speak narcissistically about it, but like it's a nice thing to know that people give enough of a shit about what you do to like come back 3 times. I mean, like it really means a lot. So kudos to you guys for dealing, you know, with however I go about these things now. But did you guys, what was there anything that you guys kind of focused on during like the lockdown period that you guys kind of got that revitalization to like put out music and stuff? I know, as Gareth mentioned, he was working on songs, but I guess for like Lewis and Rich, like what about you guys? Was there anything that you guys were focusing on during that time period that allowed you to come back to music, maybe feeling a little bit more rejuvenated, a little more refreshed?
It was a weird one for me. It was more after that period, I think, and Gareth will probably elaborate, but as soon as all that was over and you got to go to like the first gig or the first festival, and it kind of just reminded me of everything that we didn't have for that period of time. And that's when it really kicked in. Like throughout that period of like lockdown, it was just, I guess it was just survival mode.
Sure, yeah.
But that sounds a bit dramatic, but you know what I mean. And like there were like lots of cool bands putting loads of music out, like Alkaline Trio, I think, wrote like a mini EP during that period, and I was like, oh, this is sick. So it was nice to listen to that, but yeah, it was really afterwards where I was like, oh, I really want to do this again. Like I think me and Gareth went to Slam Dunk Festival, which is a big pop punk festival in Leeds where we're based, and I think it might have even been Alkaline Trio that we were watching, to be honest. But anyway, like we watched a few bands, and we were like, oh yeah, this is really good. Let's write something. And it kind of blew up at that point, I think.
Lewis, what about you?
Yeah, do you want to? Yeah, so I guess there was a couple of things. So like after we finished, like after lockdown, after we came back, a lot of the bands that we've been playing with and that we had a bit of a scene with kind of disappeared. A lot of them had, maybe things had changed in the personal circumstances that meant that they weren't gigging anymore. A lot of the practice rooms got immediately booked up because all of the like bands that formed from like university students who were like, yeah, we're desperate to start a band, but we've not been able to practice yet. They booked up all the rooms for like every week. So it meant that we couldn't practice in the practice rooms that we've been in before.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have contacts with people saying, hey, we're gigging this Friday, do you want to jump on this set? Or, you know, a lot of the promoters disappeared, so it felt like it had gone back to like square one. But at the same time, like there was new opportunities that came from that. So we found like a new rehearsal studio. Guy there's really sound. It really works for us. So that was like, you know, something that pushed, like kind of forced our hand, but it's been for the better, I hope. And then on the other side of like the music, like not being able to, you know, jump onto those gigs with people that we know meant that we were seeking out like new opportunities to gig, and looking into like more social media stuff than we've done before. So now like the TikTok presence is like growing massively, and that's really like something we probably wouldn't have done much with before if we just kept treading along the same path. But because we weren't doing as much gig wise, we were like, well, let's look online and let's like find out. And it turns out that there's actually a pretty awesome scene out there of like really lovely people who want to like support each other and, you know, share music. So we're finding more things that way than we ever have done before, and that's like amazing. It's so like heartwarming to put out some content on TikTok and have a bunch of people like come back and genuinely, honestly, you know, say nice things about it and say, oh, we're going to come to a gig, we're going to travel to a gig to come see you. So, you know, those things are amazing, and maybe we wouldn't have had that if it hadn't been for you know, the big change. So yeah, I think it's been for the positive, the sort of reset that we've had.
Yeah, I think it kind of unites. It's crazy because, like, I don't know, I should probably be more on TikTok, which if you guys let me know in the comments if I should do it, because I do have a TikTok. I just don't use it as much as I should. And that's mainly because I look at it and I'm like older, so I'm like, I don't get this shit. Like, why do people like this stuff? What's like, do I have to be stupid? Because I'm very good at doing that. So maybe you guys let me know what type of shit you like to see from me. But it's crazy how, yeah, there are some artists that I found on TikTok that I was like, how would I have ever found this artist like if the algorithm didn't like show it to me? And I think that that's kind of in itself just a wild thing. And so I absolutely love that, and that's something I've always like, even prior to like TikTok and like having Instagram do videos and stuff, I was like heavily on like Reddit and looking for like different artists. Like I do like r/ like pop punk or whatever, and like look through different groups and really find out. And now that like it feels weird that it's almost like curated in some way, where it's just like, okay, you follow A Night in November on TikTok, which you should go check the links down here. I got you guys. I got you. So go check the links below to go give them a follow on TikTok. But like if you guys had shown up on my like TikTok like algorithm, I would have been like, oh shit, this band's sick. I would have never found them otherwise, you know. And so I think that that's such a cool and exciting thing, and I'm glad that you guys are doing well on TikTok as well too, because I think that a lot of bands should be on TikTok, just because I think they get you out there in some magical way where I don't feel like maybe in other circumstances, you know, bands have a harder time to just be like, come see me in my local show, we're playing in Leeds, come hang out, get a beer with us, you know. Like it's I feel like it's so much more difficult as an artist or group or whatever now. So anything that can kind of help move that ball along, I think is always a good thing. As I mentioned before, I feel like there was kind of a shift in sound in what you guys are doing specifically with Sunday mornings. So I know you guys have an EP in the works as well. Kind of tell us, you know, kind of go through that process of working on that. When did you guys kind of start, like, kind of collectively being like, oh, I think we should do an EP or we should do an album? Did you guys kind of like tether between the two, or did you ultimately think like an EP was like where you guys had to be?
So yeah, I'll take this one. So I would like I said, I started with the acoustic songs, and I was writing all the time. And at some point, I started writing like a full story from the beginning to end. So I actually wrote a concept album somehow.
Oh,
yeah, and like literally everything tied back to the same thing, which was trying to get away from something and then sort of coming back and realizing that we had it good all the time. And then just the sort of, we will get through this together. And it was everything that during lockdown, really, that I was sort of like sending out messages to the guys, to myself, to my loved ones, just understanding, and it helped me, to be honest, to process everything that was happening at the time. But the whole thing, yeah, it turned into, I'd say I wrote so many songs, and then I sort of then put them into like a story order, thinking about this overall story, and then sort of we just whittled it down, and decided. I mean, the thing is, it's expensive to make albums.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with and again, we were trying something new. We're trying different things out. So we decided EP was probably the way to go, just to see if it's the right direction for us. But there is still the run through. There is still the story there. But so it's weird. I've never heard anyone do a concept EP before, but it's a concept EP. But so the main thing is just the love of. I think a lot of our songs really always comes back to this sort of like we're thinking about the past, the nostalgia there, because we write 2000s pop punk, so there's going to be some that nostalgia there in there. And I think at the time, how I was feeling and like everything that was going on, it just felt right to write songs like that. Hopeful songs. So all of the songs have got a hopeful sort of feeling to them, to say things are going to get better, guys. And I think it still makes sense now after all that, because people are going through stuff all the time. And so it's nice. We've come out of it super positive as a band, and I think that's really a positive thing. And we're trying to spread that positive message where we go, and these songs really help that, I think. And also. Like Costa was saying, Richard, we fell back in love with music more than anything. I know I did. And at that first festival, when I was stood there watching Alkaline Trio, when the drums started and the bass hit me in the chest, I was like, oh, live music's amazing. Like, I love live music, but now I love live music.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot how much I love it. And I've got like I'm a different person when I go to see live music now. I loved Jimmy Eat World brought an album out, and I forgot the name of it. Surviving, in fact, came out, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That album got me through lockdown, 100%. And the song 555, I saw them play that live, and we went to 2000 Trees together as a band. Ooh. We went to the festival. We had a great time, and when they played that song again, it hit me in the feels like nothing has ever done before. And so one of our songs grew from that feeling as well. It's called We Got This. It comes out next Friday. So I don't know when this show goes out, but it's basically a love letter to live music. And that came out of all of that as well. So just that feeling of being a part of a community again, and the hopefulness of it all. And just, I've had a reawakening with music. It's it's beautiful. So we're trying to make music like that, and hopefully we've done it. I hope we succeeded. It feels like it has so far.
I think
it feels like at the minute that Gareth is at a music festival every weekend. From what I can like you literally are.
That's a good problem to have, I'd say.
Yeah, I know. I love it. It's just. I think when I realized that I might not be able to play music again, I was so scared.
Sure.
And I knew I could play an acoustic guitar, but I thought I've never had that feeling again where I'm performing for someone. But then to have that feeling also of I might not actually see someone perform again. I didn't realize how much I loved it. I'd taken it for granted for years, but music's fantastic, isn't it? So.
I had a similar really exciting experience with I remember during lockdown, Meet Me at the Altar started. I remember watching them online and being like, holy hell, this band has like formed across the United States. And sorry if it's really noisy where I am. I'm looking after a kitten and he's going crazy right now. He's like bolting around my flat and
I love
chewing everything. Anyway, Meet Me at the Altar formed online and did that across like the States and released songs having never like played gigs live. So then when they came back together and then played Slam Dunk and I got to see them live, I was so excited because there was this band that you listen to EPs come out and you expect to tour straight away, or you hear an album come out and you expect to tour, so you look out and see when you can see them. That was the first time I'd heard an album come out, and I had no idea if I'd ever get to see them live. And then they came over, and I was like, "This is so exciting!" It felt like punk was like, you know, having a revival.
Oh, yeah.
And like we've talked about TikTok and all the bands that are coming out of that, it feels like that is definitely happening right now. So, you know, we kind of feel a part of that, and it's awesome. Yeah, it's really exciting.
It's also holidays as well, though. Like, it's not just music, was it? It was about getting away and going into, like, we couldn't go on holidays anymore.
Yeah,
We couldn't
yeah,
go out. So you'll notice throughout the songs, it's all about palm trees, seaside, you know, like that sort of thing is also in there. The imagery of it, because that was another thing we were missing so much.
There's going to be some joke about the English band that write about nice weather now, isn't
it? That's true. Yeah. Apparently from you know, every English band I've ever listened to, it's just like it rains all day, we have depressing weather, we're sad all the time.
This year.
Why did we write Sunny Mornings?
I'm not calling you out. You know, Boston Manor, Neck Deep, Worcester. No, I'm just kidding. Love your music. I don't want to say anything bad about your bands. I'm just saying all of you write about sad shit. It's okay. Allowed to have it. But I think for me, like listening to Sunday Mornings, and again, I will be listening to the EP as well when that comes out. So whenever Costas tells me the date of when this is when the EP releases, which, you know, redacted for right now. I'm very excited because I think for me I kind of related to not the. This was a couple of Seaway albums ago, but their album Vacation. It gave me that kind of vibe where it was like they always write about the same thing, like the sunny, like very like tropical thing, like, and that kind of, I have been listening to just Seaway a bunch recently. Not because I like fell off. I've loved them. I actually love their previous record they just put out a couple years ago. But Vacation was one that I liked at the time, fell out of, and then jumped back into again. And I was just like, I love this, like, very like bubbly kind of like positive kind of overtone to, you know, pop punk. And I think oftentimes pop punk is associated with I want to get out of my town. I, you know, don't have friends, or I have a lot of friends that live in my hometown, but I hate like, there's so many tropes about pop punk music that I think are hilarious. It's like, I hate my town, but all of my friends are in my town, so I stay in the town that I live in, but I still have to hate it because I live there. And then pizza is somewhere thrown in there. So I think that's it.
I probably love that you just referenced Seaway because I like every time we chat about making videos, and I always like throw a load of like previous bands or famous bands videos as examples into the chat. And Shy Guys by Seaway.
Oh,
that video, I always drop that into the chat because that's the fun, happy, like go happy vibes that I have proper want. And yeah, you made me happy that you getting that feel.
I'm picking up what you guys are putting down, and I think for Sunday, the Sunday Mornings video was also great. So I got to give a lot of kudos. I don't know who did the edits on that. Fantastic work.
Yeah, his name's on the video. His name's Pish. He's a great. Pish. He did the video. Yeah, he did the video for our last one as well. The Nation of Bells. Can't remember our own song. But yeah, he's just really, really cool, like local videographer. He's really
shout
good.
Outs.
He's fantastic. I'm glad we could still get him actually because he's doing documentaries and things now. He's on the up and up. So yeah,
kudos.
That was awesome. We got the one sunny day in Wales. The video
all year.
Well. You couldn't film. Yeah, you couldn't film like Sunny Mornings in the rain. Like that just would not work. So
I think it would still be great.
Yeah.
I just want to say you actually melted my heart a little bit when you mentioned like Seaway, because the song Island is one that I was listening to throughout lockdown. And I actually said to my wife, like, I'd love to write a song like that. So maybe somewhere I was inspired by them. You hit the nail on the head there. That and Ocean Avenue, I think I listened to nonstop. So
great song.
Yeah,
I know it gets overplayed, but
that Seaway song, "Scatter My Ashes" with Caleb Shaw, like that's such a good blend of like really kind of, I don't know, a softer side of pop punk, but still managing to make screaming sound good in it. And that's something that you know, we want to be able to do. We want to be able to put like screams in there, but not have it just be like just sound out of place, or make the track heavier than we want it to sound, you know. So yeah, Seaway's a really good inspiration for sure.
Yeah, I think the bands, in terms of like your musical shift that you guys reminded me a little bit more closer to now, is like, again, Seaway, like a kind of a blend between old and new Seaway. I would also say like maybe more like OG 4 Year Strong, when they had a screamer and the synth player, you know, that kind of gave me that sort of vibe, which I'm all about, because I'm like OG 4 Year Strong fan till the end. I love that band. I love their whole discography. If anybody doesn't like any of their albums, come at me in the comments. But I love that band so much. And then there was one more that I thought of. I'm trying to remember if I can even remember what the name of it was, honestly. But I would imagine it was kind of in the same vein, like almost maybe like a Like Pacific almost, where I feel like you guys are again getting more into like the heavier side of things, which is always nice. I think that I feel like you guys kind of find that midpoint between like pop punk and easycore, where it's like not like there are screaming in it, but it's obviously not the primary focus, but it's also not detracting from it. Actually, I'll swap my pick out from Like Pacific. I'll say another OG band, Set Your Goals. I think that's what you guys kind of that was the band, that was the band I was thinking of. I was using Like not to say you don't have the Like Pacific sound either, but Set Your Goals was the other one I couldn't think of, and now I got it. So but yeah, you guys kind of find that mid ground between like really great singing vocals, really great screaming, and then like having that kind of sound that to me is like very nostalgic, as Gareth mentioned, like that nostalgic like 2000s post-hardcore, or not post-hardcore, pop punk sound that I feel like you guys kind of nail on the head super well. In terms of the EP, do you have a song that you're excited for people to listen to when it comes out? Because I feel like there's always got to be that one, you know. I know Costa has kids, so I know he probably won't want to say his favorite kid, you know. So if you want to just like, you know, block your mouth out, you know, you could say it, you know. I don't want to put Costa on the spot, by the way.
I'm just gonna.
His kid's gonna be like, "Dad, why'd you say that about me? I hate you."
Yeah,
Costa, what are you looking forward to?
We've got it's 4 tracks on the new EP, and all 4 sound a little bit different. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we've got different vibes of each one, not hugely, but there is definitely like the one Sunday Mornings is definitely the most pop punk one.
I would agree.
But we have one which is I'd say acoustic, but it's I don't know if it's quite acoustic, but it's a different kind of route for us, and it's got huge sing-alongs. So I'm very excited. I know that Gareth will say the same thing.
His face is giving it away a little bit.
It's the one I was talking about, that where it's like a love letter to music, basically, and it's very different to anything we've done before. It's the first song we've written that I think is beautiful. I've used that word a few times, but like, it's the song I could have played at my funeral. You know, like, it's the one I was like, I love this song, and I've never loved any of our music to that degree. And I hope other people love it as much as me. And you know, I don't know yet, and it's going to be absolutely heart-wrenching when I hear any bad feedback from it. But this one feels very special to me. Yeah.
Lewis?
I feel like you guys are like dating around the names of the songs. I'm like, is this a big secret? Are we like?
Oh no, we got this. We got this. It's called that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to like work out which song Costa was talking
Lewis
about.
is like, which one is this one? I don't know what it is. I can't. What was that? Yeah.
I think the problem with we got this is it builds up. Like, it starts quite acoustic, builds up, and leads to something. I just hope people stick around to the end, which is it's a gutsy move, really, because not a lot of people, if they don't really know a band, are going to listen that long. So I don't know. I think there's a payoff that's worthwhile.
You better listen, guys. That's all I'm saying. That's all that I ask you to do, is you better listen, because you know I'm going to be listening. So You should listen. Just saying.
Listen to it backwards. Jump straight to 3 minutes and then go back to the start. To, like the end of the start.
I
Or
hope I'm
they'll
not
just
building
jump
too much
ahead.
now.
You'll see the slider go all the way up to the end. They're like, "Oh, I have to go to the end. Okay, I got it."
For me, there's a song that's like the fourth song on the EP. It's called Paradise, and it ends the EP, and it's like the fastest of the four, and it's got the most just like, I don't know, chuggy pop punk chords, nothing like as intricate guitar wise, and it's got more sort of a different structure, but with like sing along bits. And I can't wait to play that live, because when we recorded all of these, you know, we were so focused on writing, but now at the minute we're back in the rehearsal rooms, like rehearsing for the EP launch on 7th of October. And we want to make all of the songs sound as good as possible, so we're practicing them as much as we can. And that's the song that whenever in the rehearsal room we start practicing it, and like by the end of it I'm jumping around. There's nobody there, there's just the three of us, but like I'm jumping around the practice because I've got the energy from it, and I want that energy to come across. So whether it like you know, whether it's everybody else's favorite, whether it comes out and people, you know, feel that, or whether it's one of those songs that's more like you come along to a gig and you get that energy from us on the stage, like I can't wait to see. But for me, that's the one.
That's the one that sounds more like our sound as well, right? The older stuff as well, but newer. I don't know how to put it, but it sounds the most in 90 November, I would say, that one.
It's the go between, you know, between the different sounds, you know. I got you.
But, yeah, there are all directions we could go, you see. So they are all slightly different. But yeah, it was fun to come up with different ways of doing things, though. That was the whole goal, really.
I also think it's also probably a good challenge, right? Because I think you weren't sure if whether or not it was going to be released, right? And I think that's kind of like the interesting part about it is like, at least from my perspective, I was like, hey, I'm gonna stop interviewing people. Like, I'm gonna just go. I'm putting it all out there. You know, I'm gonna ask all the questions I need to ask. I'm gonna do whatever I can do because, you know, I know it's going to be the end, right? And so I think for you guys, I would imagine, which is great, obviously, that I'd imagine you guys will continue on after this EP, you know, fingers crossed. But I think for me, I'm excited to just, you know, was excited to hear your thoughts on the EP because I think for me, as someone who is so dedicated to like music and listening to like things in full, I know that's crazy. And me even saying that out loud is a wild concept. I listen to albums in full. I know. I had to pause for that because that's insane. No, I love the process of when bands put stuff together into regards to whether it's an EP, an album, you know, multiple EPs. And I think that you guys, at least from just listening to Sunday mornings and seeing the shift, it just seems like everything has become more like mature in terms of like the writing style. And I think you guys really honed in on what you knew from previous songs, because I even went back and listened to some old ones when Costa like texted me on Facebook, which I want to say, if you do message me on my page, there's like maybe 0.1% chance that I'll actually see it. So Instagram DM me, please. That's way better of an option. I'll see that pretty good. Facebook, no good. Don't do it. But if you want to like my page on Facebook, that'd be sick. So I was like, oh man, I should have these guys on again. And then he just whined, and I was just like, just message me on my personal, like it's all good. So then we were talking about it, and I think just kind of like, again, going through that process and like looking back at some of the previous stuff that you have released and like listening to some of our older interviews, it was just cool to see how much over the time span that I've had you guys on, like how much you have changed and kind of altered your sound in that way. And I got to give you a lot of kudos because it's probably scary, you know, to try to change something, especially if you're like, you know, it's so ingrained into what you do and like you have a process and you're like, this is how we're going to do things. And you get into that groove. And I think that a lot of bands got out of that groove because of taking time off from it. But I think it's often cool to see bands completely shift focus and change things and then really like fall into that curve, right? And I think I feel like you guys have definitely taken that in stride, and I'm excited for that EP to come out. I don't know if I can say the name. I have it up here that I'm gonna just pretend that if they allow me to say it, I'll if I get the thumbs up to say it, I'll say it. But if not,
funny.
okay. So the EP is called "Mop on a Segway."
Oh, no, that was the last one.
What? It was the last. What the
EP.
fuck, Rich? You sent me. What the hell, man? This is a setup. I'm telling you. He sent me the. He sent me the link, and that's what it says. Mama said. So I thought that's what the EP's name.
Nah.
How dare you?
This one.
How dare you, Costa?
This one's called Bear Force One.
Bear Force. Okay, thank God. All right.
Yeah, we've got all the. We usually try to have fun with our EP names somewhat. They're all in jokes that no one else gets, but we find them funny. So.
Oh my God! Oh, I can't believe he sent me the zip file, and I was like, it says that on there. I want to call Costas out because that's probably my fault for not looking at it. But I was like, this sounds too familiar. I was like, I'm pretty sure. I'm like, whatever. He's got it. He's in the band. He knows what is going on. So I should. It was a trap.
I have no idea what I sent you.
It's a bear. It's a bear trap. That's what's going on here. That was good. I got you. That was a good pun. I'm not dead yet.
We had Mop on a Segway was the one where we were just before lockdown, basically. So
yeah, that's what I heard.
We'd brought out an EP 2018, 2019.
I'm gonna look now because I just need to know what I want to see. I want to see what if it was actually true. What if I was looking at it wrong? Oh no, I was dumb. That's me. This is big. This is definitely on my. This is definitely on me. I'll take the L.
Costa, you're forgiven.
I'll take the L on this one. This was sent in 2019, so he did not tell me the EP name. So that's on me. That's my fault for. That's my fault for looking in the DMs wrong. So
I feel like this is a bear trap. This is a setup.
This was a setup for me. Honestly, that was my fault. I set myself up for my own. But also
Bear
check
trap
out
might
Mop
be
on a
our fault,
Segway.
actually.
You can check that in the description below. See, I followed that up. You guys can please go listen to it for my own fault. Because I made the fault. You should go listen to the EP, and then listen to their new one, Bear Force One. That's also coming out. Do you guys have a date on when that's going to be released?
Costa?
Yeah, so that's coming out on the 6th of October.
Wow. All right. Are we getting one? Are we gonna get another song off the EP before it drops, or is this it?
Yeah, that's Friday the 8th. Is that right? No.
Yeah, next Friday.
Next Friday. All right. So by the time this comes out, the song will be out. So you guys can also check the links below. Go give it some love. There will be a reaction video, so you can check that. Because in order to make up for my mistake to Costa and calling him out on a bear trap that I set for myself, I am gonna do a video on that. So that's my present to you guys. As a fall, you listen. I'll be more than glad to call myself out if I've made a mistake, and I have clearly made a mistake. So it's all good. But in regards to obviously you guys have had some time since the last time I had you on, and I love asking this question: what are you guys currently jamming right now? What's on your Spotify? What have you guys been listening to lately?
I've been listening to quite a lot of bands from TikTok actually, because they've been contacting us, and I've been promoting them on our channel more. I really like hearing new bands. So I can't think of any on the top of my head suddenly on the spot now, which is great. But if you go to our TikTok, I do actually mention them all the time. The new bands that I like. Who was I listening to this morning?
I'm gonna go give a follow right now so I can be in the know.
Was it Lightwave or Nine Banks that you've been listening to?
Oh, Nine Banks are really good. Yeah, they're really good.
Okay.
They're from the Northeast. And who was it? Who was that I was promoting this morning? I cannot remember. Literally, I've been listening to them all day, but then I put Blink 182 on there, and
it says Broadwing. Shout outs. I had them on.
Broadwing, yes.
Shout outs.
Those guys, yeah, they're really cool as well, aren't they? I think they're gonna go far. I mean, they've already got quite a massive following, right?
Shout outs, buddy. Love you.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what's great, making this like community with these bands and getting to know them, and the sort of bands that talk to you as well, and you can discuss band things with, and it makes me
Yeah.
like the music a little bit more as well. So yeah, so I've actually been really just jamming to quite a lot of like new bands basically, or lesser known bands.
Yeah.
So.
Fair
Nice
enough.
band. Like you saying,
Nice bands, yeah.
Nice band.
Connects with you when you. Well, that's like you said. You get that kind of contact with people on TikTok. You know, if we put stuff out on Instagram, I'll maybe get like a bunch of likes. Maybe get some comments from some businesses. They're trying to sell some stuff through the page. You put things out on TikTok, and we get like legitimate comments from people saying really nice stuff, and we do the same back. We find music that way, and so I think when you talk to somebody online on that way, and they seem nice, I'm more likely to listen to your music, and it gives you that kind of connection where you think, oh, I could go to a gig of theirs, and I bet there'd be a bunch of other people just like that there, and that's what we always want from like our gigs. Like we don't just want to make music for the music's sake. It's about like putting on nights that people remember because they felt like they belonged there and were included, and didn't have to look a certain way to try and come down to that gig. Because sometimes in the past the music that we've made is a bit gatekeepery, and certain people aren't like allowed into those places, or I feel like they can't go, and we never want that. We want to promote everybody feeling included. So yeah, if bands are nice and have that same like ethos, then I'm gonna go listen to you, and it doesn't matter whether you're like pop punk or anything at all, like any genre of music. So yeah, been listening to a lot of different stuff recently. Sorry, there's sirens going off here. City Centre. Like.
Lewis is just having a
Cats and
night
sirens.
tonight. Cats, sirens.
We can't actually
Sirens
hear
and
anything.
kittens.
Like you could be making all this up.
Oh really?
Yeah,
He's just like,
really
oh my
quiet.
God, my apartment is just shaking. I have no idea what's going on. Whoa.
It's all in your head.
Yeah. And we're like, and then after the interview's over with, I'm like, that Lewis guy, right? Woo.
So Sirens and Kittens is coming out next year.
So, yeah. They're like, he keeps saying there's a cat in his house, and we have not seen one. He's not here.
Is it live?
Oh, there he is. Okay, that's fair.
There's the kitten.
Okay, so he's not lying about the cats, but the siren's still, the verdict's not out on that one. So
Maybe
the cat may be real. Maybe the cat's doing the siren noise. We can't roll that out. Just like opens its mouth, it's just like it's a siren. Oh my God, that'd be wild. I wanted to make a pun on Lewis's point, which was you wanted to have a night in November, but that I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna. You guys can take that and cut that up into a clip. Then this deafening silence of me making that joke, you could just extend out. You're like when the interviewer makes a terrible joke about your band name, and you're like, "Fuck, I hate this." How many times are you gonna say that about our band? Costa, what about you? What have you been jamming, bud?
I don't know whether they're a big band or not, to be honest, but they're a really good TikTok band. But 408,
Okay.
like they're really it's very Blink style pop punk, I think. But yeah, they're blowing up on TikTok, but they're on Spotify and probably most other platforms. But super catchy. Check them out if you've not heard them.
I have not.
And then I'm also listening to Blink because I'm going to go see Blink in 3 weeks' time.
Woo!
So I'm trying to remember all the songs.
I've been trying to.
I'm really excited for that. That's going to be epic.
To be fair,
OG
you get a
lineup.
pass. You have kids, so I feel like your priorities may be spent elsewhere. unless you're having your kids listen to Blink-182 albums, then that'd be pretty funny actually.
Well, yeah, that's second on the list though, because their first priority is to listen to A Night in November.
That's fair. Yeah. You're like, Dad makes this music. He's number one. All right, just remember that. after you listen to Travis Barker, just remember, Dad plays the drums,
Exactly, yeah.
and I
There's
am
only
better
one
than
person better
Travis
than Travis
Barker. And your kids are like, Travis Barker is so good, and then you're like,
He's all right. He's no
Yeah.
Costa.
He's no con. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's kind of mid, He's okay. He's in the, he's not in a UK pop punk band, So
Exactly.
what
Is
is
he
he
on
now?
TikTok?
Yeah,
No.
he's not on TikTok. Yeah, come on. We're good. I'm cool. I'm the cool dad, So there you go. I just hope your kids watch this and they're like, man, this guy's being so cringe right now. What's going on? Super cringe
Luckily,
right
they're too young to understand any of this. So yeah.
now. They're like, I can't even make it through this interview. This is wild, But I love that you guys always have some good ones. I did give you a follow on TikTok, so then I'll be keeping an eye out for new shit. But I love that. I got a comment on both what Gary and Lewis said about like just a community. I think that's such a cool thing, and I'd argue that's like one of the coolest things about TikTok right now is just like being able to like just immerse yourself in those like groups. And I think also is just the fact that people are so like interactive and like really care about like listening to your band and your music, even if you're not like a Blink-182 Alkaline Trio, something like that, which is amazing. So go follow them on TikTok if you haven't, and also all their other social media will be linked below. Also follow them on Spotify, because I know you don't want to miss out for Bear Force One. I don't want to miss out, so I'm already following them on Spotify. So I know when new songs come out, so you should too. There you go.
Thank you.
You got it, guys. No problem. The next question I have for you is, if there was a song that you wish that you wrote, what song would it be?
Put us on the spot.
I have a pop punk song for you, but I've got a song that is like the most incredible song I've heard recently.
Okay.
My guy called Ren. Have you heard of Ren?
I have not. No.
He's like, he's just this. I don't even know how to. I don't think I can tell you a genre, but he's an acoustic guitarist. I guess he kind of is like a rapper as well, and he's got a song, Ren, that's got a YouTube video, and it's like 10 minutes long. But it is like incredible. It's just it's just got so much like heart in it, and he's been through some struggles and stuff. You can, I don't know, check all that stuff out online, but been through some like health issues that caused him to be like stuck at home for many years with like loads of medical assistance and stuff. So that kind of, he had that I guess the lockdown experience of being stuck in and writing, but for years of his life with like really difficult medical conditions. And he's just blown up recently with like a ton of songs. And it's great to see somebody who seems so genuine and isn't really like tied down by any kind of genre constraints, which I guess maybe comes from not being like a touring artist. He's not like he's been on, oh, you're on the pop punk night, or you're on the indie night, or you're doing the rap night, and that kind of feeds into the music. It's just been like him in his bedroom and his guitar. So yeah, like I wish I could have written Hi Ren by Ren, but it's not really my story. And it wouldn't be the same coming from me. But in terms of music, it's probably one of my favorite songs at the minute. So check that out.
I don't feel like I've got a good explanation like that for anything.
You don't. It's all right. We'll listen to it out, Costas. Oh, what is it?
Well, sometimes it's nice to not write a complex drum beat so you can vibe with a song and sing along a little bit more. And I really like Alkaline Trio's Radio for that.
Ooh.
It's not complex, it's simples, but it's really raw. It builds up. And it'd be nice to have drummed on that, because you can get stuck in instead of trying to worry about all the Travis Barker drum fills that I'm writing.
I think for me, Happy Birthday for the Royalties would be the number one. But realistically, Work by Jimmy Eat World is one of my favorite songs of all time. Always come back to that song. I know I mentioned Jimmy Eat World earlier as well, but that song, Work, I don't know, that's one of my favorites of all time for sure. I'd love to have written that song.
That's a good one.
It's probably not. They did release it as a single, didn't they? And I know it didn't do as well as like their earlier stuff, but yeah, I do love it.
Hey, that's all right. I feel like I feel like bands like that just stay. Like Jimmy Eat Worlds is just such a timeless band for me. So I would agree with that. That's a good one. That's an underrated one. Speaking of underrated, for people who have maybe already checked out A Night in November, which is awesome. And if you haven't, please go give them some love. What song would you guys recommend in terms of an underrated Night in November song? There's a song that maybe you wished got a little bit more love.
Keep dancing, keep fighting, because you know what? It's the song that goes down the best at every gig ever. Like that we ever played. We finish on it, but everybody loves it. Everybody sings along, and everybody dances. But we never did a video for it. We didn't really release it as a single, and I think the recording we could do a lot better now. So it's a shame that we wrote that song so early. It didn't get the justice that it deserves.
Maybe it might now. Who knows?
Yeah, I probably agree with that. That's I think it's like it's difficult to look back at older songs because you always like tear them apart in your mind
Sure,
because
yeah.
all of the stuff that you didn't like about those songs are the things that you put into the new stuff. So you're like, oh, my guitar tone sounds better, or my screaming's better. There's like more, melody in parts that we want and all that sort of stuff. So it's hard to say like. So I want people to go listen to like Sunday Mornings, but I'm really proud of that song. But yeah, for sure, Keep Dancing is one that like I'd like people to enjoy and maybe come see it live if you're local. That would be amazing.
Sunday Mornings is actually a soft sequel to Keep Dancing, Keep Fighting. Actually, you can listen to them back to back. But because we do love that song and it's a progression of the relationship overall, so yeah, it's interesting, I suppose. But the thing is, we're just continuously learning, and that's the thing. We enjoy doing it. We're doing it for ourselves, and hope that people come along to join us. If you like it as well, that's even better. But at the end of the day, we just want to continue learning and getting better, and hopefully that resonates with people eventually. If it doesn't, we've had a great time doing it.
No, absolutely, and I think that's kind of what continues to make me have you guys back on again. Like I think that's it. I can see the growth over the years, right? I think that's kind of important for me as like someone who interviews bands and is constantly like, I don't know how I feel about this one. Like I'll have some moments, especially like earlier on in my career, where I was like, this is kind of cringe. I'm not good at this, and so and I'll honestly fully admit that. And when other people say like, oh, I really enjoyed this interview or something like that, or like I really appreciate like how personable you are with them, I think that's what kind of continues to make me want to improve as an interviewer, because I know like that connection that you get online can be a little bit difficult in that way. So I want to try to make sure I'm like reinforcing that positive energy when I'm like talking to people, and like so I hope that people take away that I genuinely enjoy all the bands that I have on, but like it's always nice to have people on that I've had on before, because I think they kind of have an idea of what's going on, and B, like I think I have more of an appreciation for how you guys have evolved over the years than I would argue maybe more other people that, unless they've seen you a ton, then I would argue they probably have more of an instillment on that. But I would say, like, for someone who has interviewed you a lot, like, it's cool to see just, like, how when you put, like, that sort of time and effort or that dedication into what you do and really, like, press on for it, I think it just shows in the type of writing. And I think even, like, structurally and like musically and like lyrically, I think you guys have definitely improved, year over year as well. So it's cool to see that you guys are taking that as in a real stride point and just kind of continually growing. And it makes me excited to see when you guys are going to be up there, playing with like, Travis. I know I gave you a shout out earlier, but like, when you start playing with Blink-182, because I know Travis, you watch my show, so thank you for watching. I appreciate
Big
it.
fan, yeah.
Big fan.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no, it's good to see.
Yeah.
I think that is one thing that I've repeatedly said to anyone who wants to start anything, if it be a hobby or career, just do it. Start making something. You will get better if you keep doing it. Don't put it off anymore. That's what advice I'd give, and it'd be the same for what you've been doing. You're you've been getting better and better over all these years because you're just doing it, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's you put the practice in, you know. I think that's what helps out a lot. And like I said, I'm hopefully, fingers crossed again, that you guys come over to the States. You know, I'm
One
you
day.
know, I'm hoping. If not, I have to come to the UK. Maybe, you know, hey, Slam Dunk, you know, this is my call out. If you wanna
Yes.
invite me out to
Yeah,
the
man.
show, like I will fully buy a ticket out to the UK. So you heard me, Slam Dunk, at me. I'll at you. I'm gonna at you on social media because I would love to come out.
Yes.
I love the
100%.
UK. I'll make sure to be depressed before I get on the flight. So, you know, I'll be perfectly in the mood for UK, you know, UK feels. So, I'll make sure to listen to December by Neck Deep a bunch of times. So I really feel sad about my life, you know. So let's go. Give me that emo playlist. I'm ready to rock. You know, I'll have like painted black nails, you know, I'll wear like Doc Martens, you know, I'll be good. Set.
Yeah, rock it, man.
I'm gonna be
I can't
rocking
believe
it.
there's so many cliches.
I almost feel like I'm offending you guys in some way by saying all this shit.
Oh, no.
no.
It's all
Never,
jokes.
man.
You can joke, guys. Just remember, jokes are funny. But the last thing I have for you guys is the question that I know for a fact I did not ask you the last time, but I always love asking this question. I've been just kind of keeping it in my wheelhouse for capping off interviews recently, but want to know why you guys make music, why it's important to you, because I think we did talk about, like, you know, following that passion, following that love for what you do. And clearly, I think it shows in your music. And I think it just makes me even that much more excited for Bear Force One. But, you know, why do you do it? I think oftentimes we think about musicians from like, oh, what type of music do they make? You know, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But for me, like, I want to know why the people that are making the music, why they do it, why they have such a dedication, such a love, and like heart, blood, sweat, tears that they put into it. You know, why do you guys continue to do it year over year?
I have to. Simple as that. I mean, like, I love doing it. I love spending time with these guys. It's fun. That's what it boils down to me. That is the whole meaning for me. I just enjoy it. It makes me feel better in headspace. I love it. Simple as that. I can't really be any, like, that is the only reason for me.
Yeah, for me, it's about the friendships with these guys, but then also the butterflies that you get when you're on stage, but good butterflies, and I crave them. So bring on the gigs.
Great.
Nice. It's a good band name. I'll take that.
Yeah.
For me, it's just the things that come out of it. Like we'll play a gig, and some people will, you know, come down for the first time, and they'll have, you know, a great time, and they'll say that to us, and I think, like, that's incredible. Like, we worked really hard on a bunch of songs to try to make things that we would enjoy listening to, and then we try to perform them in a way that we would want to see a band play, which to us is like energy on stage and is not being like embarrassed to be up there, you know. And that sounds funny, but sometimes you can see bands that kind of shrink off to the sides of the stage because they don't really want to be seen, funnily enough. But you know, we want to like make everybody feel comfortable, so we jump around and we have a good time. And you know, when people come and say nice stuff afterwards, that's incredible. And then we've had experiences that have come out of this that are crazy. You know, we've been to Wales to a Lord of the Rings themed wedding to play a gig out in the middle of a field for a bunch of people dressed up. Like, that was incredible, which led to, like, you know, the Sunny Morning music video having like a real like Viking kind of fight scene going off in it because of these like friendships and things. And then like recently on TikTok we put out about Sunny Morning's been released, and a guy said, "Oh, I've been like a Muay Thai fighter for like 30 years or something." He was like, "Do you mind if I use your song as like the entrance music for my last ever fight?" Like, because it encapsulated like how he wanted to feel in that moment. And I was like, "This is incredible. This is crazy." Like, you know, we just do this for fun and because we want to get better at it, and it seems to have a positive impact on a bunch of people's lives, which is ridiculous and crazy and like heartwarming. So, you know, when you get those feelings, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to stop now. Like, you want that. So that's why I do it. That's why I keep going with it.
I love that. Well, I love that everything is going super well for you guys, because if anything, you guys definitely deserve it for not only, you know, continuing to do it, certainly, but also the positive force. You guys have it. You know, I feel it. I feel the aura. So definitely, if you haven't already, go give Night in November some love. I'm gonna pass it off to these guys. Tell them where they can find you at on social media, what you guys have coming up next, and anything else you guys still would like to plug. This is gonna be out like late September, roughly. So
Yeah, we have a new single coming out next Friday, Friday 8th of September, called We Got This. Check that out. Then we have the EP on 5th of October. And then we've got an EP show in Leeds on the 7th of October.
woo,
If you're not local to Leeds,
I'm
we will
not.
be doing a UK tour in 2024. And maybe one day we'll do a US tour if we get big. We'd love to do that. But,
Depends how
yeah,
many people
listen,
come to the UK one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're on TikTok, come chat with us, because, yeah, that's what it's about.
you guys show up, guys, so I can have them come to the States. That was very selfish of me to ask, but I'm gonna ask you guys to do it because I know you can do it. So please go give. What you're gonna say, Costas?
I'm going to hold you to the stand-up comment, though. So
Yeah.
when the lineup gets announced, we'll be back in touch.
Oh, okay. Well, I love to hear it. Love to hear it. Well, guys, go check
One more
out.
thing.
What was that, Lewis?
I was just going to say one more. Sunny Mornings is out at the minute, so if you want to go listen to that. And one of the biggest things that helps us is just like either giving us a follow on TikTok or any social media, or just like adding our songs to a playlist. If you've got
Yeah.
a playlist and you've got songs on it that you enjoy listening to on repeat, stick our songs on there if you like them, and that helps us out loads, because it helps with promoting more and more of our songs to more people. So we really appreciate when people do
Then
that.
we can make more music. That's the point.
Oh yeah.
More people. Yeah. So thank you.
I'm gonna fall
Yeah,
asleep
thank
to
you,
Night in
everyone.
November. I'm gonna be like this tonight. I'm gonna put my headphones on, and So if you want to do that, if you want to follow my footsteps, or if you don't, it's completely fine. Either way, you should go check out A Night in November. All of the links will be in the description. I'll also leave their YouTube channel. Make sure to give that a subscribe if you can as well, so you will be the first to know when a music video drops, because I love seeing them. They come out great, so go check them out if you haven't. Go give them a follow on TikTok, because they seem to be very active on there. So if you can go give them some love over there, that would be awesome, so that they can hopefully, fingers crossed, come to the States. If not, slam dunk, I'm gonna call you out again. I'd love an invite. I'm just saying, I would love an invite. That'd be sick. So I can say hi to my friends. So please go do that. If you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. I am well on my way to my goal of this year, which is hitting 5,000 subscribers. So, if you can, hit that subscribe button, that'd be really sick. And, we're a little over halfway there. So I think that's pretty impressive. So if you can keep that train going, that'd be amazing. And thank you guys for watching. And huge thanks to Night in November for coming on for a third time. They must like me or something. I have no idea.
We love you, man.
We love you.
I love you.